They say you can't see the future, but looking back at my New York apartment, I was designing my Palm Springs life years before it even happened. And today, I'm exposing myself, revealing all the Easter eggs that I didn't even know I laid. Let's rename this episode, That's So Courtney, because I'm having visions, people.
She's from New York, and now in Palm Springs. Wow. Watch Courtney build the colorful world of her dreams. And color me spaces, color me spaces.
Every week, we color a new room in my Palm Springs home. But the real journey started in the Big Apple. So today, we're going on a scavenger hunt through my NYC roots to find the secret blueprint behind my Palm Springs style. Plus, I'm exposing the cost of living in New York, what our bicoastal life is really like, and sharing a color me secret that I really shouldn't yet. And if you think you've seen any of this before, you have no idea. This is my fourth apartment in New York City, and each one has been bigger and better and more expensive than before. We moved in March of 2020 with big plans for this blank canvas. But first, in true Color Me Spaces style, I'll show you the before. Walk in the front door, and then you walk into the kitchen on this side. We don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so we don't need to waste square footage on that. And then a weird kind of,
it's a kitchen nook.
a kitchen nook, as Paris would call it. We're gonna put like a table in there, also gonna use it as a work area. Ceilings are super high, so we're gonna use that to our advantage and be able to build storage and things all the way up. Here is our living room. There's this big diagonal wall there. I think we're also gonna use like a desk set or something like that. This wall is where we're planning on putting our bookcases. We're gonna fill that nook space back there with some like cabinets or something that we could be using as storage as well. We have these beautiful windows. Oh, it's a perfect fit for Paris. We're heading into the bedroom. It's actually a little bit smaller than our current bedroom. It's just room for a bed, which is gonna go on this back wall. And then on this wall, we're gonna do TV, and then we're gonna do some nightstands and like things for like pajamas and like whatever in here. One cool thing about our bedroom is we have a window. This is very exciting news because in our in our previous loft, we only had windows in the living room. This is Paris's walk-in closet. I think it's funny because whenever I show like our closet in our old space, people always are like, where's Paris's stuff? Does he have room? Paris has a full walk-in closet. In our old place, he had a full walk-in closet too. Like,
all the Jordans and
literally so more room than like most women is what Paris has. Don't lock me in here. This is Paris's bathroom, which again, it's very exciting because we're gonna have 2 bathrooms now. We're very excited not to share a bathroom. I think that's like key to a happy relationship, not sharing a bathroom. We walk into the most challenging room, but also the most exciting room. This room is the second bedroom, which is actually gonna become my closet. So it has some exposed brick, but you're not gonna see that for long just because of how the layout's gonna work. Most of it's gonna be covered up. It's kind of a weird layout because he has these columns that we're working with, but I have some cool designs I'm planning for this closet. I'm gonna be carrying over my rainbow closet from the other apartment. It's just gonna give me a lot more room for all my clothes and all my things. So much has changed since we moved into the space, but one thing remains the same: my design process of mood boards and mapping everything out. Here's my plan for the Pastel Paradise living room, designing everything around this rug with playful prints and monochromatic corners. Hey wait, that sounds familiar. So let's see how it turned out and how many Easter eggs you can spot. Welcome to my apartment. So pretty much the first thing you see when you walk in is you round the corner and you hit this rainbow wall. This is kind of what we use as like an outfit wall. I actually started with the mirror and then designed around it for this wall. We love to play chess, so a few years ago I got Paris this custom chess set for Christmas. His signature color is mint, my signature color is blush, and these also happen to be the colors of the living room. On shoot days, we can move the chairs out and use the polka dot wall as a backdrop. Or if we want a solid colored wall, we can use our seamless. So using this system, we can pull down any color we need and then shoot in front of it. I do this a lot on my second account, Color Me Magic. I'm always using a solid colored background for different Disney characters. So across from our polka dot wall, we have our rainbow bookcase. The Billy bookcase is just a plain white boring bookcase from IKEA, but we decided to make it color me by turning it into a rainbow bookcase. There's a lot of hidden Easter eggs in this bookcase, so let me walk you through and show you. I collect Alice in Wonderland books, so you'll find a lot of them stored here on the bookcase. I have this vase that I love, this vintage Goofy hat. This was actually my brother's, and it's just one of my favorite things of his, so I store it here. For Christmas a few years ago, my mom got us these games that were redesigned to look like books, so they can live on your bookshelf here, but then you could pull down Yahtzee in case Paris wants to lose, or Scrabble in case I want to lose.
Right.
Because I'm not a very good speller.
Right.
Underneath it, we have a bunch of these Stony Clover pouches on display, and this is a storage solution. Next to it is Baymax. This actually came on a cake that Paris and my mom got me a few years ago for my birthday. My mom then sealed it with a clear coat so it could live forever on the bookcase. We have a ton of nods to Disney. Up is one of our favorite movies, so we have the little Up house here on display. On the mint section, we pulled in some blues, some greens, and then of course the mint color. So the books kind of give a nice range of the color palette here. I found this beautiful stitch. It was $50, so I thought it was probably gonna be like this big, but he's huge. There's this rumor going around that I don't like purple, and it's not true. Our rug that you'll see in a bit has some purple, and there was also purple on our polka dot wall, so it just made sense to include it. This vase from Jonathan Adler, it currently has a light bulb in it. I don't know why. Our pink section, which is the last section before we hit the TV. So here we have pink books. This is just a pink pot, but we will store this, which is actually used to control these lights.
Okay.
So next to our rainbow wall, we have this little mint section. We have a mint desk that we actually painted using the same paint you'll see on our wall. We have this beautiful velvet sofa. I like using velvet in a home because not only is it luxurious and comfortable, but I like that it has like this two-tonedness. Down here at my feet, we have this beautiful rug, and really this was kind of the pillar of the living room design. I think it was the first thing I bought for our apartment. Having this gold bookcase really helps break up the space. Because it has this circular design, it's a nice juxtaposition against all the squares and flat surfaces we have going on. To me, bookcases always add a ton of charm, especially when they're stylized with personalized details like ours is. Starting over here, there's this cute little pop art photo of waffles. I have this art piece which was done by my friend Jessica. Underneath, we have this tic-tac-toe set from Jonathan Adler. So this is actually a trophy. Not a real trophy, a made-up trophy. They sell these at Jonathan Adler, and I've wanted one forever. I used to work in the stock room there and dream of having one in my home. A few years ago, I set a business goal for myself, and I decided that if I achieved it, I would buy myself a brass banana. I have now achieved that goal 3 times, so I have 3 of these. One that lives here in our apartment, another one that lives in Palm Springs, and a third one that's on its way. Another thing that lives on our bookcase is our Nintendo 64 in the green colorway. I've had this since I was like, I don't know, 10, and we still play it. Alright, that's pretty much it for this mint wall. Let's move on over to the pink. So I wanted to create these monochromatic moments, but I also wanted everything to flow cohesively. So I think having them come together for this two-tone moment was a fun solution. And from here, we can step on over to check out my pink desk. But here we have this fun color swatch art print that we customized. This one has a Mean Girls theme. The number here is 10/03/04 for October the 3rd, 2004. And then it says, you can't sit with us, but you can. I got a pink Mac to match. I know what you're thinking. You're maybe looking at this computer and thinking, Courtney, that's red, not pink. But this is the color that Apple has decided to call pink. It also ties back to my headphones, which are also pink. They're like this combination of rose gold and then some kind of coral pops. But I think it all looks good together, and I like when monochromatic isn't so matchy-matchy. So I have this cute little white desk area. I love that it's circular again because it's a fun juxtaposition with all the squares. Other side of my desk, we have the start of our bookcase, or the end, I guess. This side lines up to the TV. We decided to do this as a pink moment to tie back to our pink wall and the pink desk area. So here we have 3 different colors. They're all kind of in the pink peach coral family. And we decorated this bookcase to tie back to that. A pink game of categories. There's a lot of fun accessories. These flower vases, whatever you want to call them, actually remind me of my childhood bedroom because I have these giant flowers painted on my wall. A pink purse filled with gumballs. You'll also find a few of this vase in my home. They are also from Jonathan Adler and I have them in 3 colors, I believe. I subscribe to the theory that if you like it, buy 3. So here is our TV. We spend a lot of time here because we watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies. This is actually the Samsung frame TV. I love it so much. It's the best TV ever because it looks like art. Down below the TV, we have our TV stand and we also use this for storage. Then I have this rainbow of books and we also use this as storage. So we will hide things like our Nintendo Switch back behind the book. I think there's even some hand sanitizer hidden there. Up above the TV, there's quite a bit of art. And we did this to kind of sell the idea that the TV is art as well. So first we have a row of these color swatches. Starting over here, we have As If from Clueless. We have this pink art, which is actually the bubblegum wall that you will see in Disney World. Right next to it is the purple wall, also on display at Disney World. And then up above that is our Starry Night poster. Growing up, my brother always had this like Vincent van Gogh Starry Night print that he got from a thrift shop. But to make it different, he would hang it upside down in his room and we would always ask him why. And he would say it brought a new perspective to something that people have always seen. So I loved that idea and decided to get this Starry Night artwork that actually has Hogwarts Castle instead and to hang it upside down as a nod to my brother. Right next to it, we have the Home Alone piece and the Bad Moms piece. Paris is a huge fan of Bad Moms, specifically Bad Moms Christmas, so I had to put that up on the wall for him. And then obviously everyone loves Home Alone. I'm not sure if you'll recognize this one, but that kind of wavy print is actually the wallpaper that hangs in Hey Arnold's room, which is one of my favorite shows. Right next to it, you'll see the Back to the Future poster. I love that he's on the little hoverboard because based on the movie, we should totally have hoverboards now. Above that is a sunflower poster, but if you look really closely, you'll see a little tiny Miles Morales for Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse. We have Frenchie from Grease, as well as a print from the movie Up. Kinda scary, right? It's like my past self was already designing my future home. But since we did dreamy pastels out there, I wanted to create cohesive contrast in the bedroom with a bold mural, bright yellows, and balanced blues. Here's how it turned out. Keep count of how many references you can clock. So here is our bed, which is kind of the center focus of the bedroom. This is a brand new bed that we just got from apartment 2B. It's so gorgeous. I've had my eye on this bed forever and I just didn't have a design that worked with it until now. So I kind of really designed this whole bedroom around the bed. So it's yellow and velvet and scalloped. I love anything that has like curved shapes.
Me too.
A lot of circles in my home, like circle mirrors, circle suitcases. Anytime I can have a circle moment, that's exciting for me. So the second thing I designed for the room after picking out the bed was I decided to create a mural. And at first I wasn't quite sure what color scheme I wanted to go with, but blue and yellow work so well together. So the mural here, we actually painted this. You could do it with blue painter's tape, but we didn't. We were lazy. And so we did it freehand, and I think it turned out pretty good. Another reason I landed on this color scheme is because I really wanted to get this beautiful bedspread that I've had my eye on forever. The other things on the bed are a few pillows. They're just kind of solid, shaggy pillows, and this is kind of bringing in this teal color that you'll see in other places of the room, like the chair here. Over here is one of the designated workspaces in our house. I personally have been working from home pre-pandemic, and Paris would always work a few days out of the house as well as a few days in his office. So this is primarily Paris's desk. So this is where his computer lives. This chair, he just spins it around when he wants to work from this desk. He has a yellow Mac computer to kind of match the whole aesthetic, as well as this like mint colored mat. Then right next to it, we have this Believe poster, which you maybe recognize if you watch Ted Lasso. If you don't watch Ted Lasso, I don't know what to tell you. You should watch it. It's a great show. On his desk, he also has his little beep boop R2-D2 mug, which he loves. And that's it. He kind of keeps it simple from a desk point of view. Over here we have a gallery wall, and it has a bunch of different artwork. We brought in some yellow and pieces that were previously in our old kitchen, as well as a few new pieces. Underneath our mural, we kind of have what we call like our catch-all station. Like there's a suitcase that we use for storage, as well as this bench here actually opens and we store extra blankets and stuff like that. Over here we have two of these dressers in the bedroom. This one is Paris's. On top of it, we kind of have some of Paris's favorite things. Another basketball, this little hat here. He plays Xbox.
Oh, we love that. We love that.
I don't know if we love that, but you love that, and I love that for you. Paris is obsessed with candles. This one's from Diptyque, as well as then this little blue one, which was a Bloom Effects collab. And then above, we have one of two mirrors. Say hi. Kind of a small space here, but here we have, this is what used to be our previous TV stand, and now it has like a ton of sheets and stuff like that, so it's mostly just storage at the moment. And then we just have some decorative items on top. I have this artwork, which you might remember from my previous apartment. Up above, we have some blueprints. Two of these were in our previous apartment, and then we got one new one here, my dresser. And so in here I have like my pajamas and some loungewear. I don't have any clothes in the bedroom because all of my clothes live separately. Paris does have a walk-in closet here. We're not going to show it because no one wants to see his closet. Instead, we'll see mine a little bit later.
Rude.
Accurate. Here on top of my dresser, I have my Nintendo Switch, which happens to be yellow, so it totally matches the decor. I have some Stony Clover bags. The other things on my dresser are some makeup brushes that match the aesthetic, these little Vice canisters that I got from Jonathan Adler, some hidden Mickey, this zebra print tray, which is also from Jonathan Adler, and there's kind of a few nods to this because we have this in gold, we have it in silver, and then we also have it in actual rug form. This is one of my favorite things. It's like a little mirrored turntable. I actually got this when I was working retail. When I was working at a Kate Spade store, they were throwing it out, and I was like, no, I want it. And then on top of it, some of my Bloom Effects products, and they just happen to match the decor, so I keep them on display. Then, if you come with me this way, we have our windowsill. Here we have this hat box, which is from Dylan's Candy Bar, which is one of my favorite places. This cute little Lego box. Paris and I are very allergic to everything that grows in the ground, so we have to keep fake plants in our house. Okay, so back in this corner, this is my side of the bed. So there's my nightstand, there's these lamps. These are another rollover from our previous apartment. Paris loves giraffes, and I love elephants, so you will find two giraffes and two elephants in this room, as well as some other animals. Elephants and giraffes? I wonder where I've heard that before. I'm turning into Paris, and he's not even behind the camera right now. Zetus Apetus. But we do have one more room to make your heart go boom, boom. So come sleuthing with me into my rainbow custom closet. When you first walk in my closet, you will see this big rainbow wall. The main event of the rainbow closet, because in here is where my clothes actually live. So I had these built for my previous apartment, but then when we moved into this one, they still fit. There was just like about this much space that needed fill. And I got one more made, this one here, which is a little bit smaller. So I used the top to put my bags up high, and they just kind of live all along there. And then in here, you'll find my clothes. So my dresses are in that one. I also have dresses in this one. One is for shirts and tops, one's for jacket, and the last one's for skirts. They all stay in these rainbows, and it just makes it a little bit cleaner because I'm already a pretty messy person. So having everything put away like that just keeps it nice and organized. So my closet is actually a really long, narrow bedroom. It has two columns that we had to kind of work around. So on the other side of this column that separates us from the shoe wall, we have my like gown section. I'm in between two giant columns. So with this kind of blank space, we just added this rack, and this is portable, so I can bring it into any other part of the apartment in case I need to shoot it. Over the last few years, I've started getting bigger with my dresses. So in my previous closet, I maybe had like 5 big poofy dresses to work around, and now I probably have closer to like 50. There is a mirror here, one of many in the closet. There's also mirrors inside my cabinet doors, like this, or this. So this is where I can use to like check out outfits and make sure everything looks great. On either side here, we kind of made use of the space between the columns. We added tension rods, and that's where I hang my corsets, some more gowns, some more gowns, and some more gowns. And so any of those big like poofy party dresses that just won't fit anywhere else, we kind of stored them here and organized them by color. Here you'll find all of my tulle skirts as well as some of my tulle gowns, some of my big robes with like fluffy feathers, you know, normal things that you'll find in every closet. So we have short tulle skirts and long tulle skirts, again both color coordinated, and this is the other side of the column that helps hide that storage section back there. So these are like my shorter, fuller dresses, and again color coordinated. I have like my warmer tones on the bottom and then my cooler tones up top. And then up above at the very, very top, we have some hats being stored again by a tension rod. So here's my shoe section. These are IKEA bookcases that we hacked. We added a bunch of extenders to make them taller than your average bookcase. We kind of rearranged the shelves so that they work for my shoes, and then we did some colors here on the inside of the glass. So this is the door that takes you into my closet. Once you come inside, on the back is where I store my winter scarf. There's this like weird corner, so I decided to take advantage of that and store my sunglasses there. These clear containers are for nail polish, but I just thought they would work for sunglasses, so I command stripped them onto the wall. And right next to it is where I store my headbands. These are just little bins, and they actually come off so that I could take them down and organize them if I need to. I create a lot of looks that are really color specific, so it's nice for me to have everything color coordinated, because then I know, oh, I need a green dress, I know exactly where to go. My rainbow custom closet twirled so that my current Palm Springs one could really shine. But don't make me choose between the two, because that's simply inhumane. I feel the same way about New York versus Palm Springs. I just couldn't choose, so I decided to live in both for now. Moving here right before the pandemic really derailed a lot of my design plans and made it so my mom moved in too. But we eventually got the place looking great, just in time to become bicoastal. Every year is different. At first, I only spent 2 months in Palm Springs and the rest of the time in New York. When I was pregnant, I delivered in Palm Springs, so I spent most of the year there and only 3 months in the city. And this year I've barely been in New York because I've been spending so much time producing this show here in Palm Springs and working on a super secret Color Me talk show with all of your favorite guests and a really cool concept. Did I just say too much? Pretend you didn't hear that. Anyways, next week we're time traveling back to the desert with a primary bathroom makeover that will break all the rules of this series and totally surprise you. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you on the next episode of... Okay, bye!